Yeah, man. Yeah. What up? What up? It's just it's a beautiful day out. It's finally
Yes,
above
it is.
50, 60 in Tennessee. And I know what y'all thinking. Man, it always is. No, it's not. Been here for years. Not.
What's the high gonna be today though?
I think the high today is it's 81.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
You know,
You know what I'm saying?
you
The
know
Dukes
the
and Boots are
weather's
out.
you know the weather's changed when the first thing, and you've changed when the
Oh,
first thing you thinking about is cleaning the house duties.
man, facts.
Cause I gotta clean the garage out. I got work. Like third birthday party. Shouts out to the youngest of the group, Landon.
Yeah.
Liam. Liam's third birthday is today as we're recording.
Oh,
Landon's
nice.
birthday was April Fool's Day. I'm broke. Back to
Hey,
you.
there it is. So, hey, listen, since we ain't got nothing but time and free options on our hands today, we about to talk about wrestling like nobody else in the world. And that does mean it's time for the first Black Champ podcast. And I'm still the pick. Yup. Your podcast Intercontinental Champion. Cam from the port.
And yo, I am J.R. Bang. Make sure you rate, like, subscribe, download to First Black Champ on Barbershare Digital Network. Shouts out to the gang over there. If you want to get all of the episodes in your DSP, search DFBCPOD. Follow us on everything, DFBC.POD. Get the merch. You see Camp got the red on. Been washed a couple of times, and you know what? It's still red. That's what I'm talking about right there. So y'all make sure that y'all do that. Hey, we got guests coming on to the show today. Shouts out to the newly crowned FBC Tag Team Champions of the World, A Plus and DJ Nailz on there. So we got the podcast Intercontinental Champion on here. We got the Tag Team Champions on deck. I'm on my JJ Dillon mode today because I am the VP and the DOC. So y'all know what it is today. Promos is on deck, fam.
You know it. Let's get to it.
Before we get started on the wrestling stuff, right?
Yes.
At the end of the day, we still love and appreciate music. And yesterday, surprisingly, was one of the biggest days in this music thing that we know and love for quite some time. First, I want to start off with the passing of somebody who I said on social media the other day, yesterday, that Andre 3000 went to the Source Awards. They won the award for Best New Artist, and he said that the South got something to say. But Rico Wade and the group, the collective that we would know as the Dungeon Family, provided the sound that allowed Andre 3000, Goody Mob, even going to now Future, Cool Breeze, TLC, and others in Atlanta, they provided the sound to have their voice be heard. And we have found out yesterday through Killer Mike, who's another one of those people, that Rico Wade unfortunately passed at the age of 52. Your thoughts on that, and really how, I'll say in my opinion, there's two people that should always be on the Mount Rushmore of Atlanta because of what they have done. And Jermaine Dupri is one of them, because we don't even really hear about Atlanta like we do musically without him, and we don't really hear about it without Rico Wade as well. So if it was a group, a collective of people that I feel like you have to talk about, there's no Outcast without Rico Wade.
Fact.
So what's your thoughts?
Man, to one from a personal angle, man, seeing people or just watching the updates of people that are under 55 or under 60 or under 65 passing away while I sit at 40 something is scary. You know what I'm saying? I want to say that first and foremost. Death truly does hit harder as you age, because I think all of us kind of feel invincible at some time, even when we're younger. Obviously, we had people leave our lives in our teens or 20s and things like that. But once you hit over 35 and people start leaving, and then you realize, oh wow, they really wasn't that much older than me. And you know what I'm saying? Like I look at a Rico Wade, obviously very young and young looking individual, but man, it hit different when you realize, damn, you barely 10 years older than me. Damn. Like that's the real heartbreaking part of it for me. So it's like, man, if you kind of just stop in your tracks, and it's like I love and hate these moments, right? Because obviously, like you were just saying about Atlanta Sound, the influence of the Dungeon family. Now people will be educated for real on who the Dungeon family really is and how they really just revolutionized sonics and music. If you want my just personal opinion, the revolution of sonics and hip hop, I think it's them, and it's like, you know, it's a major loss for the artists, major loss for Atlanta, major loss for hip hop music in general. And it's one of those ones where you didn't realize it until like right now that we're in it. It's like, oh wow. Because of course, you know, the internet is going to internet. They're going to run the resume. They're going to show like, oh man, he did this, he started this, he's a part of that. Without this don't happen. This is, you know what I'm saying? And it's going to become some of the biggest songs in the soundtrack of your lives, ladies and gentlemen. So you know, it's man, it's just heartbreaking, man. I mean, to be honest, just to have a chance to just really sit and like deal with just that reality, because it was 3 actual deaths that was kind of just like whoa, these people are gone, and these are like impactful people. Like when impactful people pass, bang, I kind of just go numb and just like and just be like, man, wow. Jeez, then I go into what am I doing with my time,
man? So in the business that we in, like when you see and hear these things happen so many times, it becomes depressing. Like there's no other way of saying it. And then you add to the fact on how impactful these people were for you, to you, it makes it even more shocking and hits harder. Yeah. And then when you look at just this week alone in hip hop, let's go to Mr. C.
Yeah, man.
When you look at Mr. C passing, there's no Big without Mr. C.
Man. Add one more to that.
Right.
There's really not a Kane.
That's really. Where I was about to go.
Oh, sorry.
That's why I was about to go. We're here. There's Kane. So this man was very influential on the lives of 2 hip hop legends. Mm-hmm. And what's crazy about it is depending on who you talk to at a certain time in their life, at that point in time, those 2 men quite possibly ranked as one of the greatest, if not the greatest rappers of all time at certain points in their life.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's not even talk about his history in radio.
Man.
It's almost like Mr. C was, in a sense, Phil Jackson, to where at one point in time, Phil Jackson had Mike, and then he had Kobe. Mr. C had Kane, and then he had Big. That's major. And he passed away this week. And then when you get the Rico Wade, there's no Outkast, there's no Goody Mob, there's no Cool Breeze, there's no Future. There's a lot of things missing in the music without Rico Wade and the Dungeon family. Without that basement, there's not a lot of people. Yeah. So when these people die, especially when they look like you, that is, man, it hurts. You can't, like, you losing recipes at this point.
Yeah.
At this point, as you said, when you start to get older and death starts to hit you a bit differently, especially when you look at the age of these people and really figure out they're not just as old, they're just as young as you.
Yeah,
I'll use
right.
that. They're just as
Yeah,
young as you. I mean, I made the joke last week that if you mess with a chick in her 40s 20 years ago, as you get older, she's still 60. What happens when you see her?
right.
Mr. C and Rico Wade was in their 50s
Yeah,
and still active.
yeah,
And the fact that they're gone, it's just like, wow. But then taking it back to Rico Wade, you realize how influential he was in music. At the time, Waterfalls was TLC's biggest song ever.
ever.
And outside of Scrubs, it is still the biggest song ever. It gave us the voice, the verse that made Left Eye.
Yeah,
Like the Waterfalls verse made Left Eye.
for sure.
It separated her from the group, so to speak, as the rapper inside of TLC.
Yeah,
You got Outkast and the first album, Something Playalistic. They gave us that. And then to carry it on to where we at right now, that's Future's big cousin.
yeah, man.
Who we been talking about for the past month?
Man, Future. Wow.
That's what we missing when we lose somebody like Rico Wade.
Yeah.
And the fact that the South blowing up starts, you could say, with Outkast. It starts with the Dungeon Family. It starts with that line at the Source Awards.
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta is not Atlanta without Rico Wade giving it the early soundtrack that helped propel it to where it is today.
Yeah, no, for sure. And again, yeah, no disrespect to Jermaine Dupri, obviously, but hey, like this is even one where he got to give it up because just being the Midwest kid, right? I remember that. Yeah, Crisscross. They was like, for us, the kids, but they always felt super West Coast to me. Then you have obviously LaFace Records, LA Reid, Babyface, and I think maybe Escape. I might have heard Escape before I heard Outkast. But man, I still remember vividly walking home from school and or walking to the park to play ball or ride bikes, and somebody had Get Up, Get Out playing. You know what I mean? I still remember the first time when we saw the Cell Therapy video.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And so many moments to where we didn't really have a concept of like, oh, these guys are from Atlanta. We didn't have that concept. I didn't think of it like that at all. But then once you find out it is, and it is this melting pot of music and sound that sounds nothing like LA Reid, Babyface, nothing like Jermaine Dupri. And it's like, wow, like what are they doing down there? Like this is like insane. And then of course the AT Aliens album kind of brings it home for us. It's like, okay, they from Atlanta. Okay, I got you. And then and even just the production and the organizing and engineering, all puns intended, on that, it's like, oh, so this literally is like their own world, and they really live it, and they are producing high quality just product in every aspect of the word. I mean, even at times like this, like I feel for Sleepy Brown. It's like, yo, like that's not just the hook dude.
Right.
like man, like I really it's really kind of just sinking in about how important Rico Wade and the Dungeon Family is to just us. Like they're on their third era now. They're in their third era. Man. condolences. I mean, I don't want to ramble. I don't want to keep talking for nothing, but condolences, man, to everyone that is family, extended family, real friends, and the people that were just inspired by Rico Wade and what he did during this time, man. It's major loss, major than what people will think. Please don't rush the doc. Please don't. I don't that we have this nasty habit in 2024, late 2023, where something just happened. Well, let's get the doc out. Nah.
Well, no. Well, actually, in this case, you could go watch the Art of Organized Noise doc that came out in, I think, like 2019.
Oh, shoot.
So
I have not seen that. I will. Hey,
you ain't never. Oh, man.
No, I remember them talking about one, but I never followed up and watched it. So, hey, there I go.
Matter of fact, it's 2016.
Oh, wow, damn.
Actually.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm checking that. That is my Tuesday plan for sure.
That was definitely a dope doc. But yeah, you could go ahead and you could check that out if you want to learn more about Rico Wade. And again, rest in peace to Mr. C, the finisher as well. Condolences to everybody who love, support, real friends, real family, and all of that stuff too as well. Now, go ahead.
Real quick on Mr. C. Hey, man, I know that it's a decade of y'all. It's maybe half a generation of y'all that's trying to remember Mr. C for some other shit.
Oh, yeah.
Relax. That's the finisher. I don't care what he into. I don't care what he got caught with. That's the motherfucking finisher right there. Respect that. Celebrate that. And understand what it means to be a real DJ on all formats. Mixtape, live show, radio show. He did it. Please do your Googles. Everything about Mr. C is Googleable. Make sure you Google the real pioneering, groundbreaking hip-hop shit. That's it.
Hey, man, you said enough right there. Now, to mix wrestling in with the hip-hop. Drake is in sort of a gauntlet match right now. Yesterday, it started to leak out. People were wondering if it was, AI or not. Then it turned out to not only not to be AI, but we also got a finished version from, out of all people, DJ Academics. And now we have push-ups. You know what I'm saying? Wow.
Hey, and Drake made it happen. Hey, wow. You want to talk about long-form storytelling and wrestling shit? Hey, Drake still don't fuck with Flex over that Meek shit.
Wow.
And he just proved it this weekend.
God damn. First of all, that just messed me up right there by calling Academic, because he did it twice yesterday. Ladies and gentlemen. That's
Yeah. Damn it. Hey, listen, we are officially old enough to say, damn, a diss record or the hot New York joint has debuted and Flex ain't had nothing to do with it. It's Drake and Academics, bro.
Wow. Okay. We will have more on this part when Nailz and Plus gets on. I want you to say that when they get on there, like, damn.
Hey, I'm here for it. I'm here for the conversation. This is Black Stuff Podcast. We gonna do it.
Oh, wow. Because I didn't even think about that until you said it. Okay, so Academics Flex. Academics Flex yesterday debuted push-ups, and actually if you go back this week to Rory and Maul, they even kind of, Joe Budden insinuated that something was coming. Everybody was like, man, Joe bullshitting. Then Rory and Mal started insinuating push-ups and dropping Give Me 50. And then on a Saturday morning, after we found out about the passing of Rico Wade, like literally right afterwards, this started coming out. And then later on in the day, we get a full mixed and mastered with an updated beat and everything. Apparently what we heard was the reference track, which I have questions on how that got out, if that's the case. But then lo and behold, we get push-ups by Drake, which is basically dissing everybody who has dissed him in some sort of way in this past day and a half or two, or even going to Kendrick Lamar, of course, because that's the biggest part of this. Let's say Kendrick Lamar, Metro Boomin, Rick Ross, A$AP Rocky. I feel like I'm missing one more person.
Oh, John Morant.
Oh, yeah, John Morant, which was interesting. That's what made me think like, no, this ain't AI. Because we didn't know.
Who gonna diss John Morant?
Like
AI ain't gonna think that this John Morant.
Yeah, like, where did this come from, fellas? John Morant is not playing currently. So what was your thoughts on that and the fact that Drake seems to be in a gauntlet match for the #1 contender spot or some shit? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, hey, that's what it looked like to me. This looked like the Royal Rumble where Triple H told Roman Reigns, "Hey, you defend the title, you #1. Get out there, get out there."
Which I watched during the Royal Rumble build-up, and I totally forgot about that Royal Rumble. I was like, wait a minute, because I remember watching it, and he didn't even last to the last joint. It's like he was like the second to last person out, and I think it was Dean Ambrose. Matter of fact, yeah, it was Dean Ambrose and Triple H is the last two competitors. So yeah, so who's gonna get him out of here? Like, out of those people we just listed, forgot the weekend too. So out of all of those people, who's gonna get him the fuck up out of here then?
Yeah, man. I might have just missed it, but you're of course Future, and what a way to kick Future while he's down. Jesus, like this guy is insane. Hey, listen, I don't know, because this is the Drake I like, and I like the snippet that went into like, now he's gonna sing to these niggas on the next one. That's coming up. I was like, like it's interesting. However, I only feel that there is only one actual rapper capable of competing verbally, and that is Kendrick Lamar. That's the only one. And even me personally, I think it's a little lopsided. I don't think Kendrick's bar slider is as high as Drake's. Like, if I got him at maybe like an 87, I got Drake at like 93. That's I mean, it's like, he might get him one night, but overall, who knows? Rick Ross, I ain't gonna lie, I want him to get the fuck out of here immediately. That when he started talking, then it got interesting for me. It's interesting with Rick Ross because he's not the greatest orator to me. However, he has these moments where you will remember the things that he says about person, places, or things. You know what I'm saying? Like that month that he had the word pair going viral just because of the way he said it. You know what I mean? I was like, okay. So that's kind of his thing. I didn't like the rap really much at all. I think the thing is, if anybody needs a reference track, I think it's Rick Ross, because I'm sure the information that he has, Wale would put a lot better. And I'd be like, oh man, he going crazy. Like, that's how my mind works. So, and I mean, listen, man, we watched Ross survive the 50 storm. So I don't expect anything to happen to him, you know, because I think even in the Ross 50 thing, we only got like 2.5 songs. You know what I mean? Like maybe like it was all the other internet stuff that was really wild. Future, I don't know. I'm curious to see Future in battle, and now I'm curious to see Future when he's down, he's angry, and he doesn't like Drake now. To me, the wild. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Because my last one, the wild card here to me is A$AP Rocky, because they might actually hate each other, and I want the people that hate each other to rap, because I don't think A$AP Rocky is necessarily garbage, but I would love to hear how much he hates Drake at this point, and it's all over Rihanna.
Well, if y'all know me, y'all know I don't care for A$AP Rocky. So let's start there. The latter, let's start there. I don't want to hear anything revolving around the diss track and him. Just not going to, for me, it is not going to resonate. So let's go there. All right. So now let's go back to Rick Ross. Actually, Rick Ross is the last person I would want to battle with.
Okay. Because
no matter how good it is or isn't, he's not going to let up. That's the true one. Like, Rick Ross will kill you with consistency. And within that consistency, you will find out shit like this. Did I necessarily like the record that he dropped yesterday? No. But the fact that he heard that diss and was like, I'm going to the studio, that's the essence of what we was talking about last week. About how, we just going to Hot 97 now. We're just going to Hot 97 now. Like, you just dissed me. I'm going to Hot 97. I miss somebody dissing somebody and then them going to the radio station just to rap. That's
got me there.
I love that. It's just something.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna let you keep cooking, but the one thing I ultimately always do respect about Rick Ross is that he does apply all hip hop rules. And he does not waver one bit. Hey, it was 2023 that he was randomly listening to Hate It or Love It on the radio, and he called 50's dead mother a bull dagger.
Right.
I was like, oh yeah, this guy is nuts.
He's
like,
nuts.
Yo, I'm like, it's like he still hates this guy. Hey, but and 50 Cent, same energy. Hey, when Ross went to the hospital, Ivan Drago meme popped up. I'm like, yo, this guy is crazy.
Crazy.
It's one of those things where it's like, it's kind of how like MC Shan is always mad at KRS One. You know what I mean? Like he always is like, oh, you know what, fuck on me. But he did, like, I made him famous. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of it's kind of like how we're probably never really gonna see Kane and Rakim in the same picture smiling. You know what I mean? It's one of those. So I do respect. I mean, for the same reason I respect Drake and Rick Ross, for everything good or bad that can be said about both of them, they do apply all hip hop rules are in super effect. It's the great ones, the bad ones, the corny ones, the cool ones. They've done it all. So it's one of those situations where you can't hate these guys, even if the songs don't necessarily materialize into something like super fantastic.
Right. So that's why when I look at this, that's the last person you want to battle, because when you do that with Rick Ross, it's on forever.
Yeah. Hey, just like being rich, right?
Yeah.
Forever.
Forever. And the thing about it is with Rick Ross is he's going to talk shit about you even when you least expect it.
Yeah.
Like, it could just be a random Tuesday in August and Rick Ross will be on Instagram like talking shit about you. And you like, yo, why is he even like Rick Ross? It is on forever.
Yeah.
But where this becomes a little bit personal for me, I have a similar situation with you in Control. So to explain this, I need you to explain to the people your connection, personal connection with Kendrick Lamar's Control, which is really the genesis of what is going on today.
Yeah. Hey, this is why this is all up for me. I love every second of this. Shout to B Swift. I think shout to DJ Duck. And I think shout to Rika. I believe she was there as well. I forget. I'm trying not to. I want to just have everything painted like I wasn't just there by myself, Dolo. Oh, shout to M80. That's how I got on the tour bus. Listen, what was it? June of 2013. We were TDE was performing at White River State Park in Indianapolis, Indiana. And before that show, hours before that show, Hot 963, I almost said Hot 97. I ain't never worked for no damn Hot 97. Hot 963 was offered the opportunity to go on the TDE tour bus, do a couple interviews, get people excited and hyped for the show because local radio was still a real thing in that city. So, hey, when in Rome, we go there, get on the bus. It's a beat playing on the bus. Don't know what it is. It cuts off. Schoolboy Q enters. Do the joint with Q. Super cool dude. That actually made me appreciate him and his music even more. Just being in that moment. Beat comes back on. And I'll tell you what I heard. The piece where it says, you're better off trying to skydive, blah, 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 classic material that y'all love. And I respect it. Hooked up to a dread and the beat cuts off. And I was like, I look at Swift, I'm like, damn, I was like, man, what's that? I was like, man, that was kind of hard. And Swift was like, I don't know what it is, but he snapping, like he going crazy on that. I was like, yo, you already know. You gotta ask him what that is. So Kendrick Lamar comes out. And from there, he sits down. Swift, get right to it. Shout to B Swift again, man. Great brother. He was like, yo, man, TDE in Indianapolis tonight. It's like, we can't wait for the show, but bro, yo, we heard you in there. It was like, sound like you got a lot to say. He was like, man, we getting a new album already? Like, what's happening? Kendrick Lamar's response was, oh, no, that's just something for somebody else. I'm not even in album mode right now. Like, that's just
something for somebody else.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, so literally very elusive, very discreet. Didn't want us to pry beyond anything. For all we knew, that was going to be on Isaiah Rashad album. We had no idea. Like, it could have been anywhere. Weeks go by. Big Sean drops Hall of Fame. But nobody's really talking about Hall of Fame, the album, because they were like, oh, man, after Detroit, we wanted something more than this. After Cruel Summer, we wanted more than this. But there's one track they keep talking about. It's a track called Control. It don't make the album because they don't clear the sample. I believe that's actually Kanye West sabotage #1 to prove that he don't fuck with Big Sean, but never mind me. All right? Because how does Mr. Soul Sample not get stuff cleared for an artist, for his flagship artist too? The highest selling artist on good music ever that's not Kanye West is Big Sean. But never mind. So I hear the song and I'm like, yo, this is dope. I was like, man, I really mess with this. I'm like, we don't really need J Electronica, but this is hard. And I don't realize what I'm listening to, but as people start talking about the song, I'm like, wait a minute. As the verse keep going, I'm like, wait a minute. Because obviously I listen to things 2 or 3 times in that rotation. I was like, man, I feel like I heard this before. And about 20, 30 minutes go by. I see Swift. I was like, yo. I call him in my office real quick. I said, yo, that Big Sean Control, don't that beat sound familiar? And he was like, yeah, it kind of do. I was like, fam, did we hear that on the tour bus with TDE? And he looked at me and was like, Yo, I was like, dog, we was on the corner. We was on the bus. Hey, we were on the bus. Well, that nigga was recording Control. And we left for like an hour. It get loud when people come in. We start breaking down the story. I'm like, yo. And I think I remind people of that every time Control comes out. I remind Indianapolis because there's so much inner turmoil amongst the artists, the producers, the radio station, the DJs, the personalities. I was like, hey, look, man, let nothing distract y'all from the fact that that Control was recorded in Indianapolis, Indiana. But right before the TEDE tour at White River State Park. Let nothing distract you from that. Keep shooting for the stars. Reach out and grab your dreams. You know what I mean? Because that's a moment in time. And again, I don't think like just even how stoic Kendrick Lamar was at that moment. He didn't really come out like, yo, man, I just got this verse. Yo, this is about to be verse of the year. Niggas about to go crazy when they hit. Like he wasn't hype about nothing. He just went in there and was doing it. And then we heard like that tailed end piece. So we didn't hear the names, none of that. Like we didn't hear none of that. But the part we heard, he was just like, oh yeah, that's just something I'm working on for somebody else. That ain't, yeah, I'm not even in album mode. I'm like, yo. And even Swift was like, yo, man, well, you going crazy. And then he just moved on because obviously Kendrick was giving him no material after that. But yeah, that's I look at this moment, to your point, Brandon, to bring it back home and toss it to you. I look at that moment and be like, yo, man, that really started all of this. Like by proxy, by just happenstance, and being pretty good at what I did. I was invited to a situation that led me into one of the most impactful hip-hop moments of this current era. And man, I'm happy about that. Hey, look, I didn't make the beat. I didn't say, hey, you should do this. But hey, just to be there to say, hey, I said it. I mean, I saw it. I heard it. I was there. That's enough for me on this one because technically this ain't my era.
Yeah.
So I love it.
So it's not quite that because that is so unique in this situation. But hey, Rick Ross ain't lying about them Drake songs with French Montana. That wasn't cleared.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Because I heard them songs and text you and Mike Jones like, yo, Drake and French Montana got a couple of songs together that if they get heard, they're going to be nice for both of them. And if you know me, I ain't the biggest French Montana fan.
Right.
Matter of fact, I'm not a French Montana fan. But I heard them songs and I said, yo, I might not be a fan, but yo, him and Drake got some shit together. They played us, if I can remember correctly, about 3 or 4 songs. Also, if I can remember correctly, I think it was A+ who was there with us that said, okay, the formula for French Montana, I think I finally get. Because all French Montana biggest songs, he's barely on, but it's his song. So it's like, let somebody basically hold up the track. French Montana comes in there and say, huh? And then he says some shit that's impactful for like 8 bars, but it's his song. Matter of fact, to put an even bigger bow on this, they called French Montana on FaceTime after the songs were played.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Said that he's working on a new album. He got the songs featuring Drake. He had another song with dude from Ray Shrimmer. And and it was a couple other joints we heard. And I text you and Mike and said, yo, French Montana got a nice sounding album if this shit comes out. I also remember telling y'all, hey, this shit ain't came out yet. I guess it's never going to come out yet. Then yesterday, I hear Rick Ross's verse, and he says, at the end of the song, says, you didn't clear French Montana's songs with you. I go, holy shit. Think them the songs that they played to us, and they were very excited about how this album is going to be a good one for French. Because French was set up similar to the same deal as Rick Ross and Meek Mill.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see
completely indie.
Yeah.
And the shit never came out.
Damn, yeah. Nothing like being indie with 2 Drake records.
Yeah. What?
Damn.
Well, while you're right. While you're right, we'll talk about that off air.
Okay.
A little long in the tooth for what we do. But yeah, I was just like, yo, wait a minute. Rick Ross is right. And then I go to Elliot Wilson's Instagram, and it was 2 of the songs that we heard.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh, nigga, I was right. So there was the songs that were not cleared by Drake or cease and desist.
Yeah. Wow.
Is better in this situation. Cease and desist. So wow, like this shit right here. And the great thing about it is from a rap perspective, because I don't think any of these dudes hate each other. I think this is just simply competitive nature. That's what it is. That's what it's going to be. I don't think any of this is going to change all of that. What I will say, however, though, it makes it exciting for the fan. All right? I think it makes it exciting for hip hop. When J. Cole decided to bow out, he didn't feel like it. His energy was affected and all of that stuff. Look, as we say here on Barber's Chair Digital Network, mental health matters, y'all. Mental health matters.
It does.
So if you, for 2 people who have experienced therapy, mental health matters.
Yeah,
however,
for sure.
Take your mental ass up the fuck out of here. And we gonna get to the real shit right now. And I am so excited to get to the real shit. If Drake got to go through a gauntlet of niggas like Chad Gable had to go through, like The Rock then had to go through, like Stone Cold then had to go through, like The Undertaker then had to go through, Kofi Kingston. If this right here is the Elimination Chamber and it's Drake, Rick Ross, The Weeknd, Future, Metro Boomin, and Kendrick Lamar, is now 7 people in this bitch, then you know what? I'm cool with it. Let's go. I'm excited about this shit. I'm happy. Yes. J. Cole, go back home. Be a family man. Be a husband and a father to your kids and just rap about shit. Go to a coffee shop and rap at that motherfucker. But this here, so the real.
Yeah. Hey, go ahead and go to Morehouse, Trey. They got it.
Yep.
Go to Morehouse, bro.
Hey, go. Let me out.
You know what I'm saying?
Go.
Cool.
Let me out. You know what I'm saying? You got Baz with the balls in his hand, pause, like Lawrence Fishburne, just you know, just doing this and shit. Yeah, I'm happy about that shit. I'm great. Got some real bars, but to go back to what you said earlier, goddamn.
Yeah, man.
Fuck Master Flex. Move on over.
Yeah.
The streamers got your ass right now.
Yeah, buddy. Hey,
the streamers got it.
This is and you know, maybe just maybe that was the evolution that was supposed to happen, or were we expecting DJs to be the streamers now? You know what I'm saying? It's a nasty trick bag, man. It's a trick bag here, but I mean, hey. What I'll say is this, man. Damn, Funkmaster Flex and Drake. See, the reason why I'm watching this gauntlet closely,
okay,
is because somehow, some way, Drake will get the win that matters long term. That's why I'm still watching him and Pusha T. Still watching it. I'm still watching him and Kanye. Still watching it. Even though probably publicly, it probably looks like Drake beat Kanye. But Drake just officially beat Flex. He beat him now. And we thought the play was, him and Charlamagne being cordial. Yeah, we thought that. No. Nah, the real victory was, there's a Drake exclusive. You can't get it. And not only can you not get it, I'm going to give it to a guy that we ain't never heard DJ set yet. But he's number one streamer in the urban podcasting, urban hip hop world right now. He is number one. He is number one. It's academics.
Damn.
And man, and the strategy of that, bang, because when we look up, Act's been around for 10 years now.
Yeah.
So now he's the OG. That's why you don't give it to Kai Cenat. That's why you don't give it to him.
Wow.
Or Aiden Ross or the other guy. That's why you don't give it to him, because Act's the OG. Everybody's watched them. Everybody's watched him. And now he done got Flex out the paint. Hey, and Act don't like Flex either, so it's even better for him. It's a wild world we live in. It's a wild world we live in. Oh, shout out to my man Wang. He here. Hey, yes. No, the this is indeed real. And it's another one coming. Short answer.
Wait a minute.
As well.
Yo, Drake shared a text with his mom. I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna read the whole thing. This is great. It reads from his mom, Obs. First of all, his mom calls him Obs.
Oh, how precious. How precious.
Obs. The internet is saying that you got a nose job. You look the same to me in the kitchen today. I can't believe you would get one without me. Because you know I always wanted one. Don't tell me that you got tattoos without me and now this too. Obs go. Laughing emoji, laughing emoji, laughing emoji, laughing emoji, laughing emoji. I would have gotten us a 2-for-1 deal if I went, Ma. It's coming from Rick Ross. The guy I did songs with, he's gonna loop you off the Morajo, or however you say that shit. He hasn't eaten in days and it's turned him angry and racist. And he's performing at peace. And he's performing at proms for money. And it's bad. Don't worry, we'll handle it.
Yo.
Fam, how you tell your mama, dude ain't eating days and it's turned him angry and racist.
Yo.
And he's performing at proms. First of all, let me say this. Let me say this before we move on to actual wrestling shit, because I think this is important to say. I don't know what Rick Ross said that's racist. So why are you, the mixed kid, telling your mom that Rick Ross is racist, y'all? See, this is the shit I be telling y'all about. All right? You got to watch these mixed people sometimes. Why is Rick Ross racist, Kemp? Because of a diss record? Why are you going to tell Rick Ross, your mom, that Rick Ross is racist? What did he do? Can black people be racist? No, I still don't think black people can be racist. So why would you tell your white mom that he's a racist? See, y'all got to watch out for the Drake shit.
Yo, you do.
You got to watch out for that race.
You do.
You got to watch out, y'all. Second of all, hey, that shit's hilarious. How you first of all, his mom calls him Obs, but the second part, and that's all, but the second part of it is how you say my man ain't 8 days and he performs at proms for money.
Hey, yo.
How do you type that with a straight face?
Dog, oh my God, look at how Drake talks to his mom about other rappers.
Fam. Drake's one Drake's won round one versus everybody, ladies and gentlemen, off that text alone. Because that text was hilarious, fam.
Hey, sorry, Ross. Hey, look, and
wait a minute. Wait a minute. Here's the other part of it that, I go to another blog site. At the bottom, he tags Rick Ross, Rich Forever. You're one nosy goof. Okay, they're they're just playing with each other. They pause. This is no heat. All right, this is us needling each other if we have to. That's what it sounds like to me. Because you can't do that with a straight face. You cannot.
But see, here's my thing.
You can't.
But we saw how Ross envy turned. Like, just
you're right. Yeah, you're right. It just turned.
I was like, wait, I thought y'all was cool. I thought this was just promo. but then envious for like 11 days happened. And he started saying, yo, I'm going to use this paddle on your wife's ass. And this is going to clean my pool. I was like, all right. But wait, there's just some things that just don't feel like promotion and play for me. So, I mean, I don't know. The thing about wearing no drawers with khakis was super weird. And it's just like, yo, fam, how do you know certain things?
How you know, fam?
Like, why would you even say? And maybe it's the fact that Ross didn't call him white boy. At the first listen, I'm thinking he's talking about 40 because 40's actually white. But I was like, oh wait, no, he's talking about Drake. Oh man. So this is obviously going to be the most comical portion of all of this.
Yeah,
just letting y'all know right now.
And the transition into this wrestling shit that we do talk about.
Yeah,
we can't talk about Rick Ross, Drake, a nose job, khakis with no draws without playing this clip.
Accusations. These are not accusations. This is false accusations. And
hey, right there.
Accusations. These are not accusations. This is false accusations. And
Drake, did you get a nose job? Drake, did you get a nose job? No, I didn't get a nose job. Rick Ross, you're just fat, hungry, and you perform at proms.
Accusations. These are not accusations. This is false accusations. And
it writes itself.
Yeah, we're gonna be using this a lot today on the show. Now, let's get into this wrestling shit. Yeah. If you want more, I already know that you're gonna be talking about it. Probably end up talking about it a little bit. I saw you said you might go live today, so you have that. You got Made in the 80s. We're gonna be talking about this on some dude. Yeah. There's gonna be a lot of this shit. Hip hop is alive and well, ladies and gentlemen. So y'all go ahead and get this content. Get this content out. You know what I'm saying? Now, with that being said, now let's get into the wrestling shit and let's talk about SmackDown real quick. Well,
yeah, man.
Not real quick. We're going to take some time to talk about this. And like I said, we coming up on the show today. We got two guests that's coming through today. My man A+, my man DJ Nailz. They're going to be joining the show to help us talk about this after WrestleMania life. What can we expect coming up and all of that stuff, and this new version of the Bloodline that's popping up. So for those who was under a rock a couple of months ago, seems like a couple of months ago, Tama Tonga ended his time at New Japan Pro Wrestling. I'll be talking about that in a little bit too. But I want to get into this. I want to go ahead and get into this now. We'll talk about bleeding later, but Tama Tonga was reportedly headed to the WWE. Well, what a way to debut into the WWE, because it looks like Solo is strong arming this whole bloodline situation. I don't know. Maybe we got some ideas. But as we expected, Jimmy Uso has been excommunicated out of the bloodline, and a new member emerges in a clearly pause on all of this, but in a great looking way, because of course, as we both said before, when you get on the WWE cameras, you look better than you did before. And in this one, he came through looking ripped, looking lean, and beating the shit out of Jimmy Uso, therefore getting him out of the bloodline and introducing himself as the newest member. What was your thoughts on Jimmy Uso being kicked out and the debut of somebody who, from a casual fan perspective, might not necessarily know who he is, but if you follow New Japan Pro Wrestling, you know that this man has a long, rich history in the sport, including who his daddy is, which is one of the scariest people in wrestling to deal with, Haku.
Earth, shoot. You're talking about.
Yeah.
I would be scared if I saw Haku at Lowe's. Like, I can see him at Kroger. I can see him at church and be like, yo, hey, who is fam? We gotta watch
why
dude.
Is he here? Like, why is he here? Why is Mean here? Like, why Mean gotta be whooping somebody's ass today?
Right. So yes. Oh man. So first and foremost, I want to start with, man, I feel like this was one of my goddamn cheese just happening the wrong way last year. Before once Jimmy and Jay split up for sure. But I will say this is exactly what the bloodline story needed. This is exactly what it needed, because when Roman Reigns lost at WrestleMania, and I believe I spoke about this on the show, my concern was Solo. And shout out to LP if he's listening too, because we talked about this on the sidebar on Instagram once he's seen our clips going out. He loves the show. So salute to you as well. I was telling him, if I didn't say it on the show, and I apologize, I was like, man, this could go really bad for Solo if they don't figure something out, because he went from top 10 to not mentioned at all, right?
Yeah.
He was originally the guy that we were like, oh man, it's undoubtedly that he is next. And this enforcer role, and they started, even though he wasn't talking, he was super over. Then once Jay takes himself out of the bloodline, goes to Raw, all of a sudden it looks a lot different for him. All of a sudden he's talking more but doing less. Jimmy is kind of calmly relieved. The focus is still Roman Reigns, but he's not there, but he's not holding down the show. They let him main event SmackDown. I don't do the numbers. I just know the feel. It didn't feel like that was a win to me, for just as a wrestling fan that's not worried about ratings and numbers and star of matches. But I was like, man, there's got to be something that he can pick up to get himself back into the situation. And lo and behold, man, he really took advantage of the after WrestleMania effect, because I want to say, out of everything that we saw, he undoubtedly had the moment of the week that was not WrestleMania Day 2. And then they doubled down on it with Tama Tonga coming out, who I literally only know respectfully from like YouTube and Instagram clips. I only know him from there. So I was like, oh, okay, so dude is actually super decent. I was like, okay, bet. I was like, I'm into this, because every time the internet gets wind of a Samoan, they just say, hey, what if he joins the bloodline? I'm like, well, let's see how we make it make sense first. But I think based on everybody that exists in the Samoan dynasty right now, the names, the placement, the career, the resume, just from what I understand from my level, it looks like that was the absolute next best choice, especially to put alongside Solo, because Solo is not the enhancement talent that he needs to be yet. He's still coming into his own stardom. And right now, we got to go with what puts food on the table, and that's Solo beating people up and homicide by Spike. Hey, when he started John Cena in his own brother, I was like, oh, we it's up. We going up because this is getting very real. And I like it. I think this is it. I love how Paul Heyman is scared because Roman Reigns is the tribal chief, but he ain't here. And y'all can't stop me, especially not with him. and that's hard. That's a cold storyline. This is potentially they're going to do what Jimmy Soundclick thought he was doing, and that's what's going to make it pretty cool. Which brings me into my guarantee. It's going to be a revamp and a rewind.
Here we go.
Jay's coming to save his brother. They coming for that. I think Jimmy pops up on Raw, hat in hand. Jay not hearing it, but Jay at the same time, the Achilles heel of Jay is he really don't like his family fight. So his brother gonna keep getting his ass beat on SmackDown. He gonna be like, yo, but they was beating my ass, but this ain't right. I anticipate the Usos getting back together for around, let's say June, July. And because we're both, and even though I originally said I'm expecting an appearance from Roman Reigns to be around SummerSlam, I can totally see the Royal Rumble. So now that just has me believing that there's going to be a double main event. And in that double main event, you got the Usos versus Solo and Tama Tonga. I think that's going to be the double main event. Now, obviously, it's Cody and whoever else.
Real quick, I'm going to add something to you because I want to add something to your guarantee. Because there's also something that has been talked about since its announcement. Around the WrestleMania weekend, word got out that Jacob Fatu has signed a deal with the WWE.
Oh man, it's up.
So I think it's more likely that we're going to see Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga on the same team versus the Usos. Now, I'm not going to make this a guarantee. I'm going to say this is mighty interesting. Where does Roman Reigns fits into all of this shit when he comes back? Because wording is important. Wording is important. Tama, when they went into their locker room after they couldn't get into the championship locker room, when they went to their spot, Tama Tonga whispered towards a scared and afraid Paul Heyman, saying that this was on the orders of the tribal chief. Which you don't necessarily have to say Roman Reigns here.
Right.
But since Roman Reigns has lost the belt, who is the tribal chief? Is it Roman still? He did put up a social media post of him on the treadmill saying, it's time to rebuild. We do got Solo, who he did say losing matters, basically. But he ain't won a match in 37 tries in a row. But then you have the one person who has won. You have The Rock, who said he's going bye-bye for a little bit, but kind of want to talk to you about this belt that you got.
Yeah.
I'll even go as far as saying, hey, the person that won this weekend and the person who's the number one contender for the World Heavyweight Championship is Jey Uso.
Yeah.
What have we been had? What have we been had here? He's the only one that won this weekend. That WrestleMania weekend.
That's a fact. Those are facts. Man, hey, again, mighty interesting. Hey, The final boss is also the high chief, is also the tribal chief, really. if we're really like dissecting this the right way, The Rock has just caused a shockwave in the world of wrestling. They got new graphics for stats for the sellouts. they got there's obviously new money coming in. It's more black people talking about wrestling. It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. I was curious about that as well. It was like, is Roman Reigns? See, because here's the other piece, because we also got, after WrestleMania weekend, we got Hall of Famer Paul Heyman. Maybe even Roman Reigns' speech, an induction of Paul Heyman matters in this moment as well. He was like, hey, there's no wise man. You're not going to see the tribal chief. Maybe that's more of an entendre and a play on words than anything. Maybe, just maybe, it's like, hey, Heyman might have to go, but now we about to just wreck shop. We're not doing anything calculated. We're just going to really get on some tribal shit, as you said all last year.
Right. So I got a question for you, because I've been thinking about this since Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Is it worth it for Paul Heyman to be in Solo's side corner if there's some type of civil war within the bloodline? Because, and the reason why I ask is, are we interested in, of course we're more interested in Roman, but if you add Paul Heyman, isn't that a bit too lopsided for, let's say, Solo, Tama, and Jacob?
Yeah. Don't get me wrong.
Because I'm thinking about what you just said, and what you said as far as the Hall of Fame goes, which is, if there's no if there's no wise man there, then you're not going to see me.
Yeah. Shit. Oh yeah. Okay. There is no use for Paul Heyman. Don't get me wrong. Yes, that's where I was. Don't get me wrong. As much as I think young talent need Paul Heyman around, this ain't the crew of the new people he needs to be around. And maybe it's just because I just don't see it, but I don't foresee specifically Solo being world champion anytime soon. To me, I think the bigger plot twist would be this, and this is my guaranteed hope. We kind of stumbled upon this. I kind of guarantee hope Paul Heyman shows up on Raw and becomes the counsel or the wise man to the tribal chief pending Jey Uso. Because maybe, just maybe, with the victory on night one at WrestleMania, and with taking Jimmy out of the main event on night two, that maybe, just maybe, Jey Uso was calling that shot. And what if Jey Uso was really the one that called Tama up and hash this out and be like, yo, you got to get in line? Because the storyline is this. Jimmy is so obsessed with Jay's success that he's hurting the family dynasty at the same time. While he thinks he's helping Roman, he's actually hurting the rest of the family, because there was a chance for two main titles to be held by the Samoan dynasty at the same time. And Jimmy fucked that up. So, what do you do when the family is obviously effing up the money, when the family is obviously effing up the legacy, well, you got to take care of the family. So there's a part of me that really hopes that Paul that you speak of is actually Jey Uso, because he's talked to the elders. Him and Roman have actually talked. Him and Rock have actually talked. And he was like, yo, y'all know I could have been the world champion. We all still family, right?
So why y'all fighting?
Yeah, like all that fighting. We could have had every major title in the company. What we doing here? And that makes for a more compelling story of like, hey, yo, Jimmy's bugging. Like, we got to take care of him. And then they give that word to Solo and it's like, oh, damn, I guess y'all are right. So I got to do this, huh?
See, yeah. And you know what? I mean, I said, even during our WrestleMania previews, that it would not have shocked or surprised me if Jay turned heel the day after WrestleMania, super kicked, let's say Cody Rhodes, and that becomes Cody Rhodes' first challenger.
Yeah.
Just because, as you said, he's the one member of the family who don't want to fight the family. Yeah. He feels like everybody should be able to work together. Everybody should be able to get along. We got to do this for the family. I don't really want to do this, but you got my brother that's a tweak, and then Roman that's just went too far.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go ahead and bring the new blood in. Let's bring in Michael Corleone.
Yeah.
Because Roman could be considered, not Roman, excuse me. Jimmy could be considered Sonny Corleone, and we saw what happened when he went through the toll booth.
Mm-hmm.
But then we got Michael that's going to come up in here and really just take this thing to a next level and work smarter, not harder.
Mm-hmm.
So I totally get that. It's the Tama and Fatu piece in this is a bit interesting. And the fact that Haku was at the Hall of Fame ceremony was already the dead giveaway to me that something is going on. What I also believe, I think that it's time for us to see is a little bit more of the family tree from the OG side.
Yeah.
I think it's time for an OG to really come in and not be a manager. Like, I don't want to see Rikishi or anybody walking down the ring with these people.
Yeah.
But there needs to be a vignette or two where all of the legends of Samoan history, the Samoan dynasty, so to speak, where they have to come in and say, yo, that's the wise man and you the tribal chief, but all orders come down through us to you to handle. We trust you in doing that. You are the leader, but still remember that the legacy that we have starts with us.
Yeah.
You're just a continuation of it.
That's fire. That's fire.
And then that's when Roman can have a situation where he's conflicted. Because I do ultimately believe and have believed that the next step of this dynasty that we speak of is Roman turning face.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Monday After Raw told me that. I mean, a Raw After Mania told me.
Yeah.
Monday After Raw.
But I knew what you was talking about.
Yeah.
But that's the next step to me, in my opinion. My opinion that we're going to see that is just, where does Paul Heyman lie when it comes to that? And I'm sorry. For me, there's managers who can't never turn face. Bobby Heenan could never be a face for me.
Yeah, no.
Jimmy Hart was a lame-ass face manager for me.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Paul Heyman as a good guy manager, fam. That would be lame as hell.
Yeah, no. That totally goes against everything ECW, to be real.
Exactly. So, real quick, want to go ahead and bring my brother up to here. Get my man A+ in here. What's going on?
What's up? What's up, Bang? What's up, Cam? What's going on, y'all?
What up? How you feeling?
Man, everything is good, man. How's everything y'all way, man? You over there with the scapegoat crowd the other day up there in the Wintrust Arena, Bang, man.
Oh man, hey, fam. We go get into that New Japan shit in a little bit, but me and Hood had very interesting conversations, and since a certain company be at Wintrust, I was just like, yo, how this arena be looking when they be at Wintrust? Yeah, you already know the answer to that. So, real quick, we are talking about this new development in the bloodline. We're talking about this new family that seemed to be taking shape. Tama Tonga has now entered the picture, and as Cam put it a couple of weeks ago, everybody looked different on WWE camera.
It's true, man.
Like Jade out here looking even better on WWE camera. Jordan Grace look in the Royal Rumble looked great on the WWE camera, and now Tama, who's been on goddamn New Japan Pro Wrestling camera, I saw them cameras up front and personal. Ain't no production value, fam.
Not at all. Not at all.
With that being said, what was your thoughts on the debut? And what do you feel like the next story should be with the bloodline?
Well, first of all, I agree with you. I caught a little bit of the discussion beforehand. I don't want to see Paul Heyman as no face manager. I do not want to see that at all. Yeah. I do like the fact though that it's like they're playing off of how Solo was bestowed by Roman as being the next chief. So now he's trying to take orders. I did peep during the match on Sunday where he was like, finish it. And Roman was like, I know. Almost like he was scared of Solo. I was like, damn, okay. But no, I really thought Detroit gave Tom a nice reaction too, Of course, Corey Sillen on commentary about him being the son of Haku, adopted son of Haku. But I enjoyed the segment. I think they're laying down seeds for what I like to call the old bloodline versus the bloodline, the new class, like Saved by the Bell. And I think we will see Jacob Fatu in this. I think we will see Jacob Fatu in this iteration of the bloodline as well.
All right, man, we're bringing in our man DJ Nailz. But real quick, the new Saved by the Bell, the new class, that shit's hilarious as hell.
Man.
Like, all I can think about is how they traded in the black girl for the black guy. Like, black girls move away, and they brought in the lame-looking black dude.
Right. I can't believe that Saved by the Bell, the new class, mentioned was named in a situation where I'm in, and I didn't say it. So, man, you want forever, Plus. You want forever.
Camp would be the person that brings in the TV show references. We also got our man DJ Nailz up here. So, hey, Nailz, same question to you. What did you think about Tama Tonga's debut, and what do you expect going forward with this new version of the bloodline? Like, how do you see this shaping up?
I hope everybody's reaction was the same as mine when I wasn't even watching it live, and I got a text message from our group chat, and I was like, I popped like crazy, like, what? It's finally happening? It's finally happening, like the Civil War. But it surprised me too to hear the reaction that Detroit gave Tama Tonga because he's not from the WWE world. You know what I mean? People kind of forget that the WWE fan base, like only 10% watch other wrestling, right? The rest of them are just stuck in the WWE universe. But man, I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it because we finally might get that Civil War. Maybe this is that Roman turning face, but I kind of feel like what Plus feel. I don't want to see a face Paul Heyman manager. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. But I do feel like this is probably like something to kind of give Roman that little push towards the face side as they kind of build some more heels in the company.
Nice.
Yeah, cause I don't think nobody wants to ever see this man as a good guy manager. Like, this is the same dude that hit homie from the Wonder Years upside the head with a cell phone, man. I honestly don't think you can turn face after you do that after so of a wholesome show such as the Wonder Years, right?
Yeah, right. Even somebody from the Wonder Years is crazy. They never even had a fist fight on the Wonder Years that you saw. Like
niggas got hit on the Wonder Years and just was like, and then it went to commercial. Like, and then they talked about it at the end of the show. So it's like, yo, like, what are we doing here? So yeah, I think it was great to see the reaction that we got for Tama, and you know, the casual fans, especially now going to a New Japan Pro Wrestling match event and everything, they are different. Like, they are different. I thought I was gonna get jumped because there was people behind me that saw me show Hood the new edition, and they basically looked at me like, yo, we don't do that here. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, y'all territorial, but I like y'all territorialness because it don't really show up on that because it's only about a handful of y'all watching this shit regularly anyway. Come on, like everybody ain't got access, my G, and everybody ain't subscribed to the shit. So with this Roman Reigns possibly can turn the face thing, do you change the character up a little bit? Is we gonna Hogan it up? Like, or is he like tweener? I'll start with you, Kemp. What is the best way of turning Roman Reigns face, but keeping the essence of what we have with a version of this which fits more to him because this is what he wanted?
Man, I think for Roman Reigns specifically, we didn't like him when he was trying to be face, right? We went through that whole period of like, oh, he's catering to us. He's the big dog. And we're supposed to rally behind the big dog. It was really at the moment where he was like, yo, I run shit. Like, y'all should fuck with me because I'm me. and it was at that moment where we just turned the corner. And we can't forget about 2021 into the second quarter of 2022. We were cheering for the tribal chief as advertised. After he started beating up his family, and then he started beating up Kevin Owens and beating up Cesaro and beating up everybody, we was like, yo, no, we're here for this. We like all of this. And so it wasn't until they turned on Sami Zayn where we was like, oh, yo, that's too far, bro. Like, it's like the white dude at lunch that ain't bothering nobody, and then somebody go and take his milk. It's like, oh, come on, fam. What you doing, dog? You ain't got to do that. That's where we are now. But all it takes, really, is for the family to be split. He just take the side of the person we cheering for. And that's like, so if it's Jay, hey, yo, my bad, Jay. That was wrong of me. I didn't mean to do that to you. Like, I get it now. And then he can go right back to everything because they acknowledge me. Hey, look, if nowhere else, the tribal chief will pop in Madison Square Garden or in Brooklyn at Barclays. So he got about 4 or 5 of those markets where it's like, hey, yo, no, it's tribal chief country. And it's New York, Cali, and I believe Florida. So he don't have to change the character at all. He just got to stand on that character, beating up whoever we as the universe don't like.
Plus,
I think I agree with Camp. I think when you're gonna have Rock come back as that final boss, which is in a sense it should cancel out the tribal chief. Like, tribal chief and final boss should be one position. So once he realizes that, he's gonna be like, oh nah, this is crazy, and he's gonna, like you said, side with the people who are against that. And I can't wait for the Roman. Yo, my bad, Jay, I was tripping. You know what I mean? I can't wait for when he starts going back on the shit he was doing. But I agree. I don't think you're gonna see anything close to a pandering Roman Reigns ever again, but it's just more so going to be just attuned to who we rock with. He's going to go with for the duration. Once that Rock thing wraps up, he might be retired for good after that. I think this is maybe one of his last arcs as a character, but we have to see.
So I'm glad that you said that. A good segue into my next question. It feels like this is it for Roman Reigns after the Hall of Fame speech. It feels like Roman Reigns is now looking at the end of his career as whatever you want to call this, full-time, part-time, whatever. So how should this Bloodline saga end, Nailz? And who should be should this continue going? Like, you have an NWO hoodie on. I, to this day, say NWO still should be going on. It's just that WCW fucked it up. And it's not a WWE invention. So Vince McMahon got NWO shit where they put you know, the gobbledygooker. Like, that's what that's at. So, should
when
the
Vince put himself in it, it was over.
Yeah.
You're like, bro, you
in here? Ah, what you do, nigga? All right, so should the Bloodline story end with Roman Reigns, or should it continue? Do we have the people that can help continue the story?
Man, I think this is why our group chat be so popping, because we all think alike, right? I feel like, man, that Bloodline storyline, it can go on forever, man. We got a whole nother generation that's already stepped foot in the business, with Ava being the GM over at NXT. And then behind him, you got Roman's got 2 sets of twins, and you know, the Usos, they got their kids. They're actually at the events already. This Bloodline storyline can go on forever. And we can, I think we're only in chapter 3 of it. I honestly don't think that Roman is the end of it. Clearly, because Solo's there, and Solo's the next generation. Yeah, he's been on the losing streak as of late, but you see how quick he can turn that around? You know, Friday bringing in Tama Tonga, and it looks like he's the boss of the Bloodline right now, with Roman not being anywhere around. The Rock, the final boss, isn't nowhere around. It's like he's running the show right now. So, no, I don't think this ends with Roman, and I think this can continue with different chapters. Hell, by the time WrestleMania 66 comes around, I think we'll end up seeing Roman's grandkid popping up at the Hall of Fame with one of Roman's kids, who's probably the top dog in the company at the time. So, this Bloodline thing, it continues, man.
I mean, as long as Samoans don't come back to being savages, you know.
Right. Long as we don't go backwards.
As long as we don't go backwards. Triple H don't seem like he's a person that's gonna go backwards and be like, yo, we go. Hey, I remember when I used to wrestle the head shrinkers. Yeah, fam. Like, we about to have, you know, one of the uncles come through. Hey, Jimmy, shit's over with, fam. Go ahead and put some hay around your neck and get a cauldron.
Can I say something real quick, bro?
What's up?
Something that stands out to me that I'm kind of disappointed that doesn't, you know, it's not one of the stereotypes of Samoans in WWE right now, that they are not continuing in 2024. When you headbutt a Samoan,
right,
like, you're supposed to, like,
oh yeah,
that's part of the rule. You know, you're not supposed to headbutt a Samoan, and all of a sudden it's like it's non-existent right now.
Right.
Yeah. On the underrated fact on the cell of headbutting a Samoan, it's supposed to hurt you.
Way more.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is.
Hey man, we got new Samoans out here. They ain't like their daddies. They're not like their daddies.
Right. Hey, real quick.
No, go ahead.
On just that Samoan Dynasty Bloodline forever. Hey, listen, I'm still waiting for Nia Jax to enter in the Bloodline story and take the title off of Bayley or Rhea. It's gotta happen. They got women that's kicking ass. Like, she had her one up at the Hall of Fame ceremony. I don't know why we have not put Nia Jax in this mix yet, because on the run that she had, she should have been the only champion in the Bloodline. Like today.
Look, I'll even give you Naomi. We got the first of all, I thought it was great finally that Naomi would come after her husband. And her reaction when she got there in the ring, I was like, oh, about goddamn time. All right.
I'm about to pop y'all, bro. I actually recorded video of that, and I sent it to my mama because she was like, damn, that was the blackest thing I seen Naomi do. When she said, you picked the wrong night to make me mad, little girl.
Man, I was like, God damn it, finally.
Right.
What is going on here? Like, where is the, hey, Jimmy, you tweaking, or I love you regardless? Like, I know the separation of church and state, but if she would have came out there and not acknowledge her husband getting his ass beat the segment before,
right?
Yo, we tripping. Like, we tripping. But that it
some things we just don't know sell.
Yes, yeah, right. Look like any of us getting our ass beat and the significant other coming out the next segment and not say anything about, like, this calls for divorce.
Yeah.
Like,
if my girl come out here and pull an Excalibur next segment, like nothing happened. Come on, man. Be hot.
Right.
Right.
You tripping. Like, did you? So you wasn't gonna say nothing? Like you just wasn't gonna beat this bitch ass because you mad? Do something. But why? Oh, it does seem like the women could be the next step, this next bloodline evolution. But you got Ava in NXT, you got Nia Jax and Naomi by proxy because she's married.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, outside of what Kemp said with Nia Jax, Nailz, I'll jump to you. How could you see the women getting involved in the bloodline to help extend in the story?
I think you don't even start it off with the ones that we already see on TV right now. I think you started off with Tamina Snuka popping back up and wrecking shop. And then coming to Naomi and saying, what you doing? You over here playing a lollygag. Your husband over here fighting. This is what our family do. We step up for family. You're supposed to be over here with me. Naomi, she's conflicted. She's in the storyline with Bailey and who she's in the storyline with. She could turn heel by turning on them and realizing, yo, I am supposed to be focusing on my family stuff. Then here comes Ava coming up. You know, she's running NXT. Maybe she brings in some other. Maybe she brings in Jacob Fatu into NXT to be her henchman or something like that, to wreck shop there. Or, you know, it's just so many different ways that you can involve them in there. But I don't think you started off with the ones who we see on TV right now. You can swerve everybody. Bring Tamina Snuka back on and have her be that savage that we know she is.
Plus,
I was just gonna say, I mean, I agree with Nail said, but Nia Jax right now, I just want to just say, like, this run she's having right now is miles better than the first run she was having, in my opinion. I think she's been going crazy. I think she's lost that reputation of hurting people during this run. I totally agree with what Nail said. I think you definitely want to bring in people that you haven't seen and attack it from that angle. But I think it could add to it. It definitely would add a layer to the bloodline for sure.
Yo, I'll just say for me, it does not even have to be bloodline like direct. It could be bloodline adjacent. It could be like they ain't got to be like GDs and lady GDs. Like, I ain't saying that, like, you know, but like Nail said, like, yo, we be all in here fighting, fam. So your husband just got his ass beat. Bitch, what you gonna do? And it could just simply be, I'm upset at what I'm seeing and I'm just taking it out on all you other women in here. And we just gonna handle it right there. Because my wife likes Naomi and everything. She just don't like tracks and shit. Like, I love watching wrestling with women and they look at the weave and be like, yo, that shit bad. They ain't got no black woman back there. It's like, okay, you're paying attention to shit. You're paying attention. Oh, Miriam ass will catch a bad weave on a wrestler in a minute and be like, yo, track's fucked up, fam. They ain't got nobody black back there that's helping them out with their shit. But because of that, I think that to me right now, that's the only thing that's missing. You are missing the element of the women having to support the men. And now it's time for us to try to be on the same level as them. We ain't got to be all in the locker room with each other. But, you know, we need to get on the same level as you all. And if it means that I got to stop acting like I'm the big three with Jade and Bianca, then that's cool, because me, Nia, and Tamina about to whoop y'all ass anyway. So, all right, before we go back to WrestleMania, because I think every last one of us has had this conversation. I've had this with all of y'all. And that's AEW. So, Kemp, you're the only person that has not seen the footage. And like I said, since we are on YouTube, and because this did not look necessarily favorable to them, I was going to say, hey, I'm not going to show the footage here because this might not be a favorable conversation. So that this might not be a favorable conversation, our shit might get taken down. But then I said, who am I to be a bitch when it comes to this shit? Because I am JR Bang, all right? I'm going to get my shit off. I'm going to show this shit. And this will show me if people will be paying attention. Like, I believe sometimes people will be paying attention to the show.
Absolutely.
So before we get to it, because I'm downloading it right now so we could just play this shit natively, For those who don't know and who was under a rock, and you shouldn't have been under a rock if you look at wrestling, you had a situation where last week or the week before, like the weekend of WrestleMania, AEW said that they was going to play the footage of the fight or the backstage scrum that happened at All In Wembley Stadium. They didn't necessarily give, they didn't necessarily say of what, but we kind of knew what it was going to be. And I think that, especially with Plus and Nailz, we was hoping that they were not going to go this route. In fact, in one of our group chats, Plus had an impassionate argument with one of the guys on here about how this shit was stupid in the goddamn first place.
Hey, Plus, when Bang told when we talked about it last week, I encouraged them to close. I was like, "Oh, if this is what you want to do, y'all can close down. You don't need the organization no more. What you doing this for? Like, just close."
Close. So that being said,
man.
Yeah, who was at New Japan? He was there.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he was there. So, Kemp, you have not seen this video.
Yeah, no, I've been.
So I'm going to love to see your face when you see this. So we won't be talking for about 57 seconds, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
We're gonna play this, and then I'm gonna love to see Camp's reaction after this video plays. This is the footage at AEW All In. CM Punk, Jack Perry, and the cast of a couple of tens that was backstage.
You sound crazy already.
Yeah. All right, so
You got his face.
you got the face right there. He's looking. Jack Perry sitting there. You got Samoa Joe getting ready. Got the refs. And all that. And, CM Punk's jacket looks like those bottles on Andy Griffith.
Hey, ain't that promo from the Vin Diesel movie? Ain't that
No, actually, you could probably get that jacket from. Shit!
Hey. Hey, yo.
Tony, I got you too close. I've never been this close to the wrestlers.
Look at Malachi Black.
Yo, hey.
I was like,
Hey. Listen.
That was Chris Hero. I was wondering who that was.
Yeah, yes.
I was wondering who that was.
First of all,
A much smaller Chris Hero too.
Yeah,
He's lost that weight again.
right.
oh dang.
Kemp,
Hey.
you are the only person who have not
Yo.
seen this video.
Yo, hey.
Thoughts?
First of all, CM Punk pushing him like, "What's your stupid ass up?" Like, when he gave him the quick shove, "What's your stupid ass up?" And then immediately just choked him like, "Hey, hey,
Shut up,
first of
Kemp. Don't do it.
Hey,
Don't do
hey,
it.
Look, no, see, you
Don't
trying to be
do
a
it.
catalyst. You trying to be a catalyst. I wasn't even gonna say nothing about doing
Okay, I just wanted to
what
make
you
sure.
did. I wasn't gonna say nothing. We was talking wrestling. I was not gonna go to the time in Maywood in 2005. I wasn't even gonna do all of that.
Don't do it.
I wasn't gonna do nothing. I was talking about wrestling. You play the clip of CM Punk shoving Luke Perry and immediately choking him. That's what I was gonna talk about. You incriminated yourself, brother.
I just want to
I
make
ain't
sure.
saying nothing else.
Carry on.
So, like I was saying, gentlemen, yo, pushing him immediately, like, shut your stupid ass up, or fuck off. Like that was crazy, and immediately choking him. And then, listen, now the Cry Me a River jacket look even lamer because you look a grown ass man that's like, you have his age, push the shit out you and choke you, and nobody really held you back. Like, they was like, nah, like you were clear on how much smoke you wanted, like, and it was incense level, like that was it. That's all you wanted in that. So that looks terrible. And hey, yeah, CM Punk is right. Look, yo, it looked like he said, "Hey, yo, that sounds stupid," and then it looked like he got smart as a young ass nigga. And CM Punk was like, I ain't gotta take this from him.
What?
like dog, like you're not your pops, and I would do your pops like this. but rest in peace to him. You know what I mean? but it's like, dog, who the fuck are you? And hey, I think CM Punk handled that very well. Very well. I agree. Sorry, guys. Again, close. Hey, Tony, mound up the powder, bro. That was stupid. I don't know why y'all did that.
Wow.
That was unnecessary. If this is how you run your company, hey, give the shit to us. We got it. We got it from here, bro. We got it from here, big dog. Yo, like, nah. Hey, y'all make sure y'all check the ratings. Because on the flip side, if that becomes one of the most highest rated segments or one of the most watched AEW episodes, they're in a lot of trouble. They're in a whole lot of trouble. Because that segment wasn't long enough to keep me after commercial break. It just wasn't. That's bad. That was bad and stupid. That was bad and stupid.
So I'm gonna pass it to Plus for the ratings update here. But that was my whole issue. If that's the needle mover compared to who you have and who you tout in the company, if that's the needle mover, then you got to really have an honest conversation with yourself about who you've brought in and how you're using them. Plus, you be on the ratings, and everything. So, like, how did you see from the numbers, did it affect it and your concerns?
So I'm looking at the numbers right now. The total show was 819,000, which is higher than the past couple of weeks they've had, but this is a show that's been averaging 850 for about the last 6 months total. So still down from where they've been. That segment in question, once again, I mean, it's typical to the patterns of Dynamite over the last few months. The highest rated quarter hour is the first quarter hour, which, I mean, I think the Big Bang Theory ends at like 8:01. Yeah. So, they're doing some funny math there with Young Sheldon or whatever. But so they lost about 130,000 in the second quarter hour, but then they got back about 30,000 when they started showing the footage. And the very next segment after that, they lost about 60,000 and then started the rapid descent down from there. Will Ospreay came out in that next segment, and that's when he said the whole thing about the whole hit dog hollering segment where he was responding to Triple H, who did not put a name on it, just saying he didn't want any wrestlers who are young in their career and don't want to grind. And I think Will Ospreay's been around for close to a decade, maybe, even though he's not a new name. He's not a fresh face. So for him to take that and own it and then devote more TV time to that, and on the top of that it aired back to back with the Bucks footage, it was just like Tony was in his feelings, man. Like, this is like a diss record. You're using valuable television time to diss your opposition in a manner that's not even going to get you anything. It's not productive. It's not going to get you anything, for next week and the week after that. So I just thought that was weird,
Thank you for that, Plus. I want to say something real quick. See, this is how I feel about Tony Khan. Ice on me if we need to for this. All right.
Hold on. This is
the case.
ISO time. We don't do this a lot, y'all, but when you get the ISO time, promos get cut.
And I just don't want anybody else involved with what I got to say here. I don't think it's that bad, but hey, I be talking and people just feel, and I don't know how to handle that. I just keep walking and living my life. It's cool. But man, Tony Khan, to me, embodies the wrestling fan that interprets the Attitude Era wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you get into that space where you think the Attitude Era is no more than the DX invasion and the mentioning of now I'll put some butts in the seats the day when Mick Foley wins the title. It's like, dog, it was 83 weeks. Y'all talking about 2 episodes. Like, you gotta look at the grand scheme of the Attitude Era where everybody just upped the ante and neither program got mentioned. One storyline was going on here, one storyline was going on there, and they hardly ever intersected. Yeah, there was that rare moment in time that might have had us wanting to see it again. Like, oh man, yo, you think Shawn Michaels will show up to Nitro? And Sweet Chin Music, Kevin Nash. You think that'll happen? Like, but when you really think about it, that's never gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then like the other moment y'all got is Bret Hart after he spit in Vince McMahon's face, wrote WCW in the air, and then proceed to punch him in his face on the way out the door. That's all we got. That's all the real notable interactions of the Attitude Era. People like Tony Khan, that when we talk Monday Night War, when we talk WCW versus WWF at the time, or WWE, they all look at it as like, yeah, every week we got to take jabs, we got to take shots, we got to make it more than obvious that we don't fuck with the other side. And it's like, at least Eric Bischoff and Vince knew the real game, because what kept happening to the NWO? The 90s WWF guys at the time started going over there and started joining. You can't shit on the WWE and then recruit the talent. I saw something that was hilarious that said AEW looks more WWE than the WWE right now. And as I looked at their post, I was like, yeah, this is everybody y'all want to win. And this is everything that Tony Khan and the VPs said they wouldn't do, which was keep giving y'all the same old talent that's still trying to get over. But newsflash, dipshits, because I know that's how white people get their point across. You got to make money in your organization. And you see the experiment of CM Punk wrestling randoms didn't work. You see that Cody tearing up thrones. And y'all keep saying, well, this ain't the other organization. We can talk about it right here. That shit don't move the needle. Y'all got to actually produce real product. Hey, do something, say something, create something without the WWE and see if it actually works. So far, y'all have been super unsuccessful at doing that. That's why the Bullet Club, that's why TNA, that's why Ring of Honor, all that exists in this ecosystem. Yeah, it looks cool from the surface level of maybe like children that just don't understand the aspect of like building businesses and organizations. But for the most part, a lot of this AEW-led stuff look like hodgepodge bullshit. And why? Because Paul Levesque is not overly concerned with what you're doing. He's just taking your best pieces of the talent that you didn't groom right and turn them to bigger stars than anything happening in your company right now. Shout out to Jay Cargill. I'm going to stop there because the show is almost 2 hours long. I got a lot more shit to say, but we'll just hold right there because the First Black Champ podcast is going to go on all year. Yeah. I appreciate you fellas for that moment in time.
Nah, that's gospel right there. I just want to add one more thing to that, Camp. I think this is a promotion that was unprepared for Vince McMahon's either dismissal or stepping down.
Man,
a lot of the targets, a lot of the things
we got an ice on. We got an ice on.
A lot of the things they talked about, a lot of things they did were thinly veiled or direct shots at Vince McMahon. And once that was taken off of the table, and you got to do something else now, because you know they did try to tell stories a little bit when Cody came in, and you know, of course, CM Punk and Danielson, all that was cool. But once that sheen wears off of it being new, it just goes back to whatever. It's just the same old thing. Like, he's decent at putting matches together. He gets a lot of praise heaped on him for doing pay-per-views with pretty good cards. But if you want to talk about the build to those pay-per-views are sometimes god-awful or non-existent. So there's just things that I don't agree with that, you know, I think once again, this is sometimes, you know, they want to say that, you know, there's so many dirt sheet writers that take up for him and say it's not a vanity project. It is a real business. But I don't believe it until he takes the pencil away from himself, which I think at that point, he's going to lose interest in even funding the venture, because that's what it's all about. It's about getting out those dreams from those e-feds in those very insular, narrow corners of the internet that he came from, those message boards that he's sharing with all of us now. And I'm like, yo, I want to stop being subjected to this guy's personal party. I just want a good wrestling promotion. That's all. That's my take.
Yeah. Hey. I'm with you.
Yeah. We cooking with gas today.
Like champ, baby.
Man, boy, I got goosebumps.
I'm just saying, man.
The promos today, Nailz. Go ahead.
I'm not cutting a promo, but I am going to say, as a fan who's enjoyed all of pro wrestling and was so excited, and I think I'm going to speak for all y'all when I say this. I'm so excited when AEW was created because we had an alternative to what WWE was giving us when they were the only show in town. Mm-hmm. And everything that AEW said that they were not going to be, they have become in 2024. When it says a lot when the highest rated points of your show are about WWE guys and stuff that's happened in WWE. And instead of focusing on building your stars that you have over there and showcasing the stars that you just signed. For God's sakes, you just signed Will Ospreay, Okada, you just signed Mercedes Moné, and you're focusing on WWE and WWE superstars to get a rating, to pop a rating. And also, I think Tony Khan, that's kind of piggybacking on what Plus just said. It's like what Tony Khan is booking for is the Twitter audience, which is the audience that's already watching for what you're already trying to bring in. So every superstar you're signing them to pop the Twitter audience or the X audience or the social media, the internet wrestling community, and you're not booking to bring in more eyes to grow your audience and grow your ratings. Like you're just booking for the people who are already watching New Japan Pro Wrestling. They're already watching the underground indie scene. They're already privy to what's going on. It's the smart fans, right? So you're not going to grow your audience by just booking for the 10% of fans that are actually on social media interacting with you. You know what I mean? And I think right now what they're doing in AEW is very counterproductive to what the original reason why AEW was created. And then dare I say this, who would have thought that the worst thing that could happen for AEW is Vince McMahon being ousted from WWE? Mm-hmm. Because it's like literally the roles have reversed, because what WWE was giving us in the late 2010s to early 2020s compared to what AEW was giving us when they first were created, the roles have reversed. And man, it's the wrong time for AEW to be doing what they're doing right now, because man, WWE is on fire. My mom has not watched WWE since I was sitting in front of that big floor model TV on Monday nights when I was in high school. And now she's all of a sudden, did you see Cody finish the story? I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan. And for all them who saying pro wrestling is cool again, where the hell you been? Pro wrestling always been cool.
Facts.
So I'm going to put a bow on all of this because all of y'all are right 100%. Devon Dudley the other day, in the interview said that it feels like WCW in the 2000s. Here's where I'm going to disagree with him. Because I think that even though it was a lot of bullshit that was going on, you still had some promise with some of the people that was in there. I know what he meant by the cartoonish things that's going on, but at least in that 2000 going into early 2001 before the shop closed up, you were starting to see some young folks really start to get over. Who is that in AEW right now? Hook? Like who
in the Jericho Vortex.
Right. Who is the homegrown AEW person that they have touted as far as growing homegrown people? Who is that now?
The main one off TV.
Right.
I was gonna say the main one off TV, and that's Darby Allin, honestly.
Right. Like, the pillars.
Either MJF or him. That's true.
Yeah, the pillars.
Two legit pillars right there.
Sammy Guevara, let's give it to him too, because that man got nuclear heat, and I don't know if it's go away heat or just natural heat.
Yeah.
But see, right. That's the point. Like, there's none of the pillars that they touted on TV.
Even Britt Baker's not on TV.
And I got an interesting story on that.
Who was the original biggest star of that company too, by the way.
Yeah, I got an interesting story that I'll share off air about that.
Oh, hey, I'm here for that. I'm here for some.
But it's like,
stuff we can say about break on life. Never mind. I'm tripping. Let me go.
But it's like, who do y'all have that will give us hope that is somebody that you would consider homegrown.
Yeah, see, it's tough when you're bleeding as a company, because you didn't use the vets the right way. Like, I think there is, so to kind of frame it even better, CM Punk had the right idea. He was just wrestling the wrong guys. It was like, dog, don't put me on your B show at the front of it to talk for 15 minutes and then talk about my exhibition match and then have like a 20-minute barn burner with somebody I don't care that's even signed to you right now. You know what I mean? Like, it should have been more of like, well, let's give them at least one classic story with this new guy that they don't care about today, because tomorrow this is going to mean something when we're trying to put a major title on them and say, yo, that's the guy, versus taking the PS5 approach and just saying, oh, we're just going to hit random and we're just going to have this match. Hey, you know what? I'm going to put the title on the line for this. It doesn't mean anything to the person because we're on network TV. It doesn't mean anything for the casual fan that was literally here for Big Bang Theory. And now I'm just here now. I went to the bathroom. I went to grab me something to drink. Now I'm back in front of the TV. Like, okay, what's this? Like, and that, I think that is the thing where that question is just hard to answer, Bang, because they didn't do the right thing with the right people at the right time.
Bro, I care about Mike Sanders more than I care about any of these wrestlers on AEW.
Natural born thrillers. Wow.
Right, like I can't, like, and Camp knows this. Camp knows this because we've talked about this on many occasions. Fam, I was a Lance Storm stan.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, he about to get all of the belts. Wow. I care more about Lance Storm winning the Saskatchewan title.
Heavyweight title.
Yeah, the 20 kilos or less title.
Yeah.
Like, I care about that shit more than for me, AEW fans, I'm speaking for me. There's no character currently on your television show that is not a former WWE head of the card star that I care about. With MJF, and I ain't really care about Darby Allin like that much either. I care about his well-being more than anything.
He's hell bent on not being able to walk at 40. Like, he's determined.
Yeah.
But outside of MJF, Ricky Starks, and that's because of Camp.
Man,
Camp was the Ricky's. There's two people Camp put me on and said they're going to be a star. LA Knight, because he was on here like, yo, go to NWA and just go check out Eli Drake and then tell me how he's not going to be a star in the WWE. And nobody but him said that.
Yeah. The take sounded scorching hot at the time.
Also, the man who was cheering the hell on for Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, Ricky Starks. Right? That's like, it's like, yo, you
trying to make the vignette.
right. You trying to make the vignette at this point. Nailz.
I got a couple things. One, let's go back real quick. Shout out to Lance Storm. When you shouted out Lance Storm, I wanted to shout out Lance Storm because a lot of that man's style of working back in the 90s and 2000s, you see a lot of it in today's wrestling. So I just want to shout him out for that.
Yep.
Second is when you said Eli Drake being a star when he was in NWA, let me also remind y'all, he is a former WWE guy before he went to NWA.
I mean, yeah.
NXT,
Yeah, NXT and that thing, yeah. But it took him to leave.
Yeah.
To leave and come back and be a star, which is the formula for a lot of the big stars in WWE right now. Right? But another thing about AEW, and they're having stars that's right in front of them and they're not presenting them the right way, or they're not getting them over. And you can see the difference in what they do, because Jade Cargill, even though her presentation in AEW was amazing, right? She has been in WWE on TV less than what she was in AEW. And man, that entrance alone and presentation that WWE does for a superstar, literally, you know, it can change them from just a internet name to a household name in a heartbeat. My mom talking to me about Jade Cargill, and my mom just started back watching wrestling like 3 weeks ago. You know, so I'm just sharing y'all the difference like between presentation.
Oh yeah, it's the camera.
Yeah, it's the camera, right? It's the camera.
It's the camera.
It's the camera.
Like,
are you sure?
The Jade Cargill, that's what we gonna call it. It's the camera, because Jade Cargill looks different. Cody at WrestleMania looked different.
Yeah.
Everybody who's come from over there and set foot over here, I don't give a damn if it's NXT camera. The camera looks different. You automatically come in and you look like $1 million. Let's just say MJF made the jump. Imagine how good he's gonna look when you see him pop up on that screen. You're gonna be like, holy shit. Like, whoa.
Because he was in Back to the Future when he showed up.
Right. Oh, yeah.
War Games. Like,
I know I'm
He was
against,
55 in AEW. he was 45 again when he began back to WWE. So
I know me and Plus are guests on y'all podcast, but I want to ask y'all this question.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's 2024. It's time for the bidding war of 2024. Now the question is, does MJF jump ship or does he stay in AEW?
Now he gotta go. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'll just say me. At first, I was like, no, he gotta stay. He gotta be Sting in WCW here. But then I saw Jade Cargill. That's what changed it. When I saw Jade at the Royal Rumble, I was like, nah, he gotta go. He could come back. If they still around, he could go back. He could Ric Flair the situation. But that's who I'm going to use as this example. You go look, we talk about the camera. Mm-hmm. Go look at Ric Flair in 1989, fam. Go look at any of them, and that I consider at 1989 Ric Flair's best year.
yeah.
Go look at that whole run from Chi-Town Rumble to the end of the year. Then you go look at him in 1991 come to the WWE. Fam, the shit looks like night and day. Ric Flair looked like he was wrestling in 1979 and 1989. And then when he went to the WWE and brought that damn belt onto the screen, interviewing with Mean Gene Oakland, when he was like, oh, wait a minute, is that?
Yeah.
That shit looks like HD compared to what he was working with in 1989. MJF,
Technicolor.
right? MJF can always go back home, but the bidding war of 2024 has to end with the biggest company in order for him to be the biggest superstar. And he could go back after that contract is over with, and he's going to show up with a lot more sheen than he did when he got there. So I think it should end with him being in the WWE, and he can always go back.
So for me, the best thing that MJF can do is go to the WWE, not because of the money, not because of the cameras, not because he'll definitely make a WrestleMania. It's because the greatest single thing that will happen to his career is being able to talk to Paul Levesque every week. That is it. I consider the character Triple H to be top 3 of heels of all time. I think for this era and the true essence of heel, as far as the wrestling that we grew up watching, MJF is the only one that exists. So now it's time to double down and tap into that in a real way. I think that he picks up his storytelling and ring psychology more over there. I just think that indie wrestling is indie wrestling. I'm never trying to shit on it, but there is just some things that you just can't learn over there that Randy Orton, that Paul Levesque are going to teach, that Ric Flair going to pop up. Ric Flair in the building somewhere. Shawn Michaels is near you. Like, just being in that ecosystem amongst some of the greatest, and just knowing at any time you might run into The Undertaker. You might run into Steve Austin. The Rock going to pull up. And those guys, and those are the guys that he literally grew up watching, along with Chris Jericho. And Chris Jericho has done a great job so far with MJF. But for the gear that I think we all believe that MJF can hit, it just don't exist in AEW. So he's unfortunately have to leave to get to where he's supposed to go, because now it's bigger than him. You know what I'm saying? And it's bigger than being the flagship, the standard bearer of the company. It's like, dog, this determines if I'm on Dark Side of the Ring or WWE documentaries right now. Like this, that's what's hanging in the balance for a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't think MJF wants his story to be, yo, man, I was gonna be one of the greatest superstars of this decade, but you know what I mean? So I think the bidding war, and I wouldn't even be surprised, even though it ain't gonna happen this way, but even he cashed out for less than what Tony want to give him just because of that ecosystem. I still got MJF leaving just because it's the best thing for him and his legacy as a professional wrestler as we move forward.
And that's a real shit. Like, you want to be on WWE documentaries, or do you want to be on Dark Side of the Ring? Like, imagine this.
Like, hey, and people we love are on Dark Side of the Ring. So don't get jacked up. Like, you can
still end up there, you know. Right. You can still end up there. Go look at this episode of, go look at Tito Santana, fam, or go look at Jimmy Snuka. You can still end up be there.
Right.
However, it's more likely that you'll be here and we're gonna have that documentary. You're gonna be in 2 documentaries at least before the year's out the way, or you cannot be on no documentary because TK don't even have a content team that's even going to think of, where's our Coliseum home video, money? Where is their Coliseum home? Like, you ain't got no streaming service, fam. So, what are we doing there? Well, we losing recipes. Where's that? That Coliseum home video held us down for years, fam. Like, goddamn, we ain't even talking about the pay-per-views. We just talking about, them little small documentaries that they had of The Rock and Stone Cold, because Stone Cold said so. Like, all that shit need to be on streaming platforms in the first place.
Still my favorite Coliseum home video, because Stone Cold said so. That's the one.
How you think I watched the big event, Tony Khan? I ain't even shit wasn't even on pay-per-view. I just went to goddamn West Coast Video and was like, yo, what was this event? The big event. Oh, Hulk Hogan got his ass whipped by Paul Orndorff? Oh, watch this shit. Because Hogan has always been a heel. A couple of things before we get out of here. First of all, just y'all experience with this WrestleMania season. Real quick, I wanted to get y'all thoughts on, where do you see, outside of the Bloodline, who do you feel is going to be the big winner when we look back at after WrestleMania? Like, is it somebody that you feel like is going to be able to get in the prime spot, or you feel like somebody is on the cusp of something big and we could see them at WrestleMania 41 really go above what they're at right now?
I'm going to say off top, who I'm looking for to have a dominant 24 in one shape, form, or fashion, and leading into 41 is my dude, the Ring General, man. I'm thinking Big Goon will have a great year. Big Goon will have a great year, man. I'm looking forward to it. I was like, Triple H ain't gonna have this reign on 666. He ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? So when it happened, I was like, "Whoa, he really did that. He's an evil nigga." So Goon really is evil. I get it. But I think he's gonna have a great 24. I can't lie. They got the Bash in Berlin coming up. I know he's from Austria, but that's right next door, I guess. So he's gonna be a major part of that PLE. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Gunther does in 24.
Nailz.
Man, I feel like it's a bunch of different people, man, and I'm looking at, because when they say this is a new era, it really is a new era. Dare I say something about the women's division? It's Tiffy time. Tiffany,
yeah.
she's gonna be a star this year. We're gonna see her. Dare I say, by Survivor Series of this year, you know, up there in that main event title picture, or at least like getting those eyes to be that next one up. Dominic Mysterio, Dom's got nuclear heat every time he touch a microphone. I think he's gonna be in probably in the IC picture by the time 41 come around. Braun Breaker, man, like I see that man with a rocket on his back getting shot straight up there. And if Carmelo ends up popping up somewhere in the next couple months, I can see him getting out there somewhere. Not in the main event picture quite yet, but I definitely see eyes on him. And if Trick popped up, you know, he's gonna get fast tracked up there to the IC title picture, at least in a main event, you know, somewhere. Because I'm just giving the benefit of the doubt, you know, sometimes with this new Triple H era, because you never know what can happen with Triple H in charge. But definitely Tiffany, Rhea Ripley still is gonna be up there next year. And unpopular opinion, but I don't think Jade is gonna. I think I see the fans turning on Jade before she actually gets that moment that we all waiting for.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, but Sisters with Suplexes is definitely gonna get that tag team championship. Sisters with Suplexes is definitely about to be the next WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. I agree with you with Goon, but somebody who I've been waiting to see them push to, and they've been doing this subtly, but as drug dealing season has returned, y'all, Santos Escobar, you know what I'm saying? I really want to see what they really plan on doing with him. They're putting him in spots. It's almost like Kennedy when he was there. Like, he was like, yo, why is he wrestling? But then slowly but surely, you start seeing him get over. But the presentation, the group, I still am a Santos Escobar fan. And I'm not saying he's gonna win the title. I ain't gonna say he winning the WWE title, but when the draft, which is coming up very soon, he could be one of those people that I think after the draft really gets up there a bit more with some of the other things going up. And then I'm still waiting for Logan Paul and Dominic Mysterio to become a tag team. I'm still pushing for that. I'm still pushing for that. I still need the Art Bar and Eddie Guerrero. I still need it. I'm still gonna pitch for that. They need to be a tag team. Just go watch When Worlds Collide. I tell y'all every 3 months, go watch that pay-per-view, and you go watch them two, and why Logan Paul and Dominic Mysterio needs to be a tag team and win the tag team championships. And just like when I used to watch Lucha Libre on Telemundo, when they was frog splashing the shit out of Pentagon, like they just kept frog splashing this nigga, fam. It was just like bow, bow, bow. And I was like, yo, these niggas cold. I need Logan Paul and Dominic Mysterio to just back to back frog splash Finn Balor, because that's who would be the benefit of this, and even be a bigger heel, and Finn could be facing for everybody again. I need that. So
Can you imagine the heat?
Yes, that's why we need this, fam. I've been pitching for this for 2 years now. Camp, who you got?
Oh man, so a lot of great people thrown out there, and I'm gonna pick one different. Well, not different. It's already been mentioned before. I look at the landscape of wrestling, right? A lot of international superstars, and as I look at where the New Day is right now, unfortunately, as I look at news that's saying like Big E may not wrestle again, but he's in no pain. I look at what the Street Profits and specifically Montez Ford, what they were supposed to be. And I look at Bobby Lashley, which is just the greatest black wrestler of all time. So he's stabled and labeled. I look at that and I say there has to be a new black wrestling superstar that's going to emerge as male. And that, for me, I think unquestionably now with the last like 5 or 6 months, it's Trick Williams. I am expecting Trick Williams to skyrocket because I don't think this time last year we saw what is happening right now. I don't think
I still owe him an apology for calling him slick. That's
that nigga apology. Hey, and see, and that's great. And that's great banter, right? because I look at this and don't get me wrong, I totally understand Carmelo Hayes, but I think that the hype, although very real, I think now we've just settled into it. I think there's still a lot more for Trick Williams to do. And not for nothing, he has the look that we, the universe, will gravitate to and be like, oh yeah, that's a champ right there. That's a main event guy. He, like, don't get me wrong, gotta pick it up on the mic. Gotta have better continuity with the story as well as the matches. But again, he's another guy that in the right situation, I think is going to thrive. And let nothing distract you from the fact that he talked with John Cena at NXT. Just let nothing distract you from that. And I pay attention to two things in wrestling more than anything. These are my 1 and 2. 1, when Michael Cole just randomly put you over. Where Michael Cole is just like, yo, hey, no, he's going to be a good superstar. Oh, man, she's great. She's hella talented. Okay, why is Michael Cole saying that? The other one is when John Cena shows up and he talks to you and he let the camera see. That, to me, is like, okay, all right, so now you're in on this. So, yeah, undoubtedly, my pick, Trick Williams. That's our next black superstar, fellas. The next first black champ of whatever his era will be, because he's won a title, but you know.
Yeah, if I see Trick Williams, I'm just gonna personally apologize. Like, fam, I ain't even want you to wrestle. I just thought you should be slick. But you now are at a level where you've probably surpassed everybody.
Yeah.
Like in like a couple of months. All right, man. Before we get out of here, got to talk about my experience at New Japan Pro Wrestling, y'all.
For sure.
And for anybody that's listened to this show, me and Camp has said that Jon Moxley left WWE for one specific reason: to bleed.
That's it. That's it. That's it. He had to get these outlaw fantasies out, man. He had to
get them shits out. Like if he saw The Rock do what he did to Cody Rhodes, I think he was pissed. Like,
yeah, he was like, "Where was this?
Where was this?" Like, oh, but now there's a chance I could come back and bleed. So.
Right.
But no, man, I want to shout out the New Japan Pro Wrestling fans that was there. They're really like into it. First of all, shouts out to Jonathan Hood for bringing me along for the ride. I didn't even realize, like, I watch wrestling and I do know about New Japan Pro Wrestling. I watch Wrestle Kingdom every year. And I be trying to find that access so I can watch that shit. I'm not paying for a subscription service, but I'm a wrestling nerd. So if I see it come on, like, I was in DC watching Ring of Honor at night. Like, I'll wake up at 12 and be like, oh shit, let me see what they're talking about. So they're interesting, very interesting to see Mustafa Ali there. And he fits. Like, you can look at a wrestler and be like, nah, the E not for you, but somewhere else. Mustafa Ali should be the AEW World Champion. Like, that's how I feel. Like, he's somebody that I would bring over there to elevate and all this stuff. Well, he could be the TNA champion because he's over there too. But seeing Mustafa Ali at the crib doing this thing, Jon Moxley became the first wrestler in wrestling history to have held a WWE World Championship, a AEW World Championship, and a New Japan Pro Wrestling Championship. I did not expect for him to go over until we saw Tony Khan in the building. It was like, oh, yep, he's about to win and shit. And it was fun interacting with the fans. Like I said, I thought some of them was gonna jump me when they saw me show, like, oh shit, Tama Tonga debuted tonight. Like, we don't do that shit here. But they will also be quick to check you, because there were some people that I just did not know. And some folks turned around and looked at me basically like, how the fuck you don't know such and such? And I was like, I don't know. I got 3 kids, fam, and a marriage. And I work a lot. Like, I'm busy. I'm not going to know who Azam is or whatever. But she debuted on AEW and was very nice. And she was nice there going up against, I can't remember her name. But she was very nice in her presentation. She is the female. She's she's New Japan Strong Women's Champion. They just got too many fucking belts. That's my thing about New Japan Pro Wrestling. Them motherfuckers got a belt for goddamn everything. Like, how do you have a strong title and then the strong openweight championship? There's tag team championships with that shit. Then you have the international championship, and then you got like there's too many belts. It's too many. I could not keep up that night with like who's a champ and who's not. But Rocky Romero coming in to excite the crowd at the beginning of it to the end of it. I thought it was a great show. And it was good to see being like this grassroots type of thing when it comes to the fans. Like, if I will say this, from what I see, New Japan Pro Wrestling does it right when it comes to how they give their fans what they want. Like, I forgot who it was, the Asian dude, but he had the cat shit with him. And I was like, all right, this is a little bit weird. Like, why is Mustafa Ali wrestling a cat? And I'm not even about to pronounce some of these folks' names because I butcher them. It's not right. But yeah, he had like a cat stuffed animal, and he wanted Mustafa Ali to shake his hand. It was like, wow. But the essence of all of this is Jon Moxley bleeding. And the hilarious comments on the video that I posted on the First Black Champ Instagram account. Make sure you follow it at the FBC. Because yes, Jon Moxley bladed over a net breaker damn near. Because the head, when he did hit his head on the apron, it was not hard enough to make you go, nigga about to bleed. And that's why you see me in the video like, all right, because you see him go around and he puts his head underneath the ring and he had the blade ready. So I kept thinking he had already did it. And maybe he did and the shit didn't work. And he was like, yo, I got to go underneath the ring and put my head in it. And that's when you hear me in the video go, oh shit, he's doing it. And then he came out and Hood looked at me and was like, oh no, I think he overdid it this time. Because he came out and he was just like, oh shit, damn, I did too much. But that match with him and Naito was a dope ass match. I did not expect it because also the storyline coming in was he's never beaten Jon Moxley. So maybe this is my chance to do it and keep the belt, and then to really solidify me as the champion. Like, nah, you not going to come to Chicago and Tony Khan be here and we not get this belt. So on Wednesday, we're going to see the new IWGP heavyweight champion, Jon Moxley, hold that belt and everything. And I think they're going to probably do it again next month on May 11th. But those fans, those fans are rabid. They're very much into it and definitely looking forward to coming back to see them when they come back to Chicago whenever they is. They've made a believer out of me inside of the ring. And that's why I be so heavy on AEW. Like, let's get this shit together. Because I do believe that the best wrestling is when we have multiple companies. And I am the dude that still misses WCW and still watches WCW shit regularly.
Absolutely.
I will put it on the most random ass WCW pay-per-view. Like, I will watch a Battle Bowl like I ain't never seen it before. And even though that was right, yeah, I'll watch Capital Combat and see RoboCop just pop out for no fucking reason.
Popular opinion, like growing up, like I was a WCW guy over WWF back in the day because growing from the South and being from Florida, I always was able to see those wrestlers from WCW. I remember the purple logo on Saturday morning, sitting there on my grandma's floor watching it, and my granddaddy and grandma sitting behind me. But then I also remember my first ever wrestling event was WCW Bash at the Beach, where the NWO was formed. So it's like,
whoa. No, stop. Stop.
Don't just gloss over that.
Don't just go gloss over that.
Like, yo,
that was your fact. You was there?
Actually, that was my second. My first one was actually Clash of the Champions, where the Shockmaster debuted.
Oh, wait a minute. Hey, you saying, you see the shit plus? He said, like,
right.
Hey,
shit like,
no, that was that like you was there for the day Bastion Booger debuted or something like that. You said that like, hey, yo, remember when they debuted Max Payne and PN News? Yeah, I was there. Damn, you can't do that. You can't do that here.
So as a growing up, I was a huge WCW guy. That's why Sting's retirement match, like I had to watch it. You know, even though he wasn't the Stinger that we knew, but I love Sting. I was a little Stinger, bro, because I grew up a huge WCW guy because I was always able to see them at least once or twice a year. You know, with my dad living in Daytona Beach and the Ocean Center's right across the bridge, it's like he would always take me there. You know, a random Monday Nitro that's there, or, you know, Clash of the Champions, and then that Bash at the Beach when I had no idea, obviously, I had no idea, me being, you know, this 8-year-old kid, knowing that the moment I'm about to watch is actually going to change the way that I love this business so much more, you know. But I took that moment for granted as a kid. But as I sit back and I think about it, I always brag about that to some of my friends in my little inner circle. I'm like, dog, I was there when NWO was formed. Yeah, I was actually
Did
there.
you cry?
I don't remember like all the emotions that was going through me at the time, but I do remember being confused because I didn't expect Hulk Hogan to turn. Like,
He's always been a heel, Nailz.
Well,
Hulk Hogan's always been a heel.
But see, bang, I love this. My bad, Nailz. But see, hey, look how his version of 8-year-old Hulk, his 8-year-old version of Hulk Hogan versus my 8-year-old version of Hulk Hogan is totally different. I was damn 16 and was like, yo, what's going on? Hey, it blew my mind. I was a teenager. But it's like, you don't know, like, train, say your prayers, and eat your vitamins, Hogan. You know, like,
right.
WCW Hogan. It's still red and yellow. He's still a movie star. He's still one of the biggest things moving, but he ain't HGH.
That's
Hogan.
true. You don't know.
Right,
you don't know I Am a Real American. You know American Made. Wow.
I do, because my Uncle Tracy, who got me into wrestling, he was always watching those VHS tapes. My Uncle Tracy used to record. I mean, Blockbuster doesn't exist no more. So he used to have the old Blockbuster tapes that he never returned. And, you know, he used to put the little piece of paper in it so you could record over the tape. My uncle used to literally watch movies that he used to want to watch, and he would record over them, then have his own little personal labels of every pay-per-view that he would watch illegally and have the VCR recording it, and would have WCW Starrcade, whatever, or WCW this, or Super Brawl, or whatever. And I would go back and I would watch those tapes as a kid, watch WCW classic stuff and WWF classic stuff, random episodes of WWF Superstars, where, you know, it actually had Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior on episodes of Superstars, and Vince McMahon in front of that green screen with the fake crowd in the back.
Right.
Like, I would watch those old episodes of WWF tapes back in the day too. So I had an idea of who Hulk Hogan was before.
Yeah, you had the idea.
Yeah, the idea.
But you,
I know Three Ninjas, WCW guy.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I saw, like, you know, tapes like maybe like later on, but I knew he came from WWF, but I didn't grow up with that. I didn't.
Damn.
We got Thunder in Paradise Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, like y'all got Thunder in Paradise Hulk Hogan. Like I got Hulk Hogan, who made that one random ass appearance on Superstars in 1990 against Dino Bravo. Like I got that shit. Like I got Hulk Hogan, you know, and we got the essence of Hulk Hogan, but Hulk Hogan also has always been a heel. So, you know, that was just solidified at Bash in the Beach, but I ain't even talking about the nigga shit. Like I keep telling y'all, Hulk Hogan was a heel ever since WrestleMania 3. How you tell your friend you don't want to give him a title match, and then get mad at your friend because he asking for one, and then get mad at your friend because now he go get Bobby Heenan, and the guy asked you for a title shot. You said no, and you had this big ass trophy, and I get this little small ass shit. Like you got this, I got this shit.
Right.
That's not what friends do. Fuck you, Hogan.
You know, 20 plus maybe. You know,
I was beating your ass in Shea Stadium. Fuck is you talking about?
You know what I'm saying?
You're not gonna give me no shot. All right,
right.
Hey. As far as I know, Andre the Giant invented chain snatching. I'm just gonna say it right now. I think Andre the Giant invented chain snatching. I've never seen that before in my life. And it's like, give me your shit. Like he strong arm robbed Hulk Hogan on Piper's Pit.
And
Because Hulk was treating him like a little hoe. Like, fam, I beat your ass in State Stadium, fam. Get the fuck up out of here. All right, man, before we get out of here, we all, like, for those who are just tuning in and for y'all, we give guarantees at the end of the show. So Camp gave his guarantee. So Nailz, give us a guarantee whether it's next pay-per-view, whether it's, Raw, SmackDown, a storyline change, or shit, whatever you want is a guarantee. We start off with you.
Oh, damn. I guarantee. No, I'm not.
Hold on, pal.
All right, Dwayne. Dwayne at the Hall of Fame.
I guarantee that CM Punk and Drew McIntyre storyline will be the best storytelling on WWE TV in the next 3 months.
All right.
I'm with that. I'm
with that one. Yeah. Drew McIntyre, that feel like that's gonna be a real fight. Like somebody's gonna I feel like somebody gonna get punched in the ring. Like there's gonna be liberties taken.
Nah, for real.
So they're doing a great job.
At WrestleMania, when Drew McIntyre got up there and he did the little crotch top to his meat whistle, and I'm like, yo, this man is like kind of shooting a little bit. I don't know if this is supposed to happen or not, because he's going a little too far right now.
Right.
So that storytelling is gonna be amazing when he comes back full time.
All right, Plus, what you got?
I guarantee that Cody Rhodes will still be the champion when the ball drops going into 25. I'm not saying 1,000. Don't quote me on that. I ain't saying he's approaching nowhere near 1,000. I'm just saying I think he gets the chance. He's still the champion once we roll into 25.
I do agree with that too. Camp, your guarantee was.
Oh shit. I kind of remember it, but here's what I want y'all to go away with as part of my guarantee and all of it. I guarantee that Jey Uso is the one sending that shot to Jimmy, and he's the one that got Tama and Solo together, icing out Paul Heyman, final bosses away, Roman Reigns. I think they've already talked. I think that they have already discussed how Jimmy fucking up the money. He fucking up the dynasty because it could have been 2 world champs in the Samoan dynasty at the same time, but it's not because of Jimmy Uso. And he's going to reveal himself as the active tribal chief while Roman is away.
Wow.
My guarantee is that there's going to be another big faction in the WWE. And when I mean by big faction, I mean just as big as the joint that Nailz has on. Not saying it's going to be the NWO, but it's one thing that I know about Triple H. He loves factions. And being that he loves factions, there's going to be in 2024 a bigger faction revealed as the Bloodline steps back a little bit. There's going to be there's going to be a bigger play out there that he will also be a part of. Look, Triple H has been Ric Flair. Now it's time for Triple H to be J.J. Dillon, y'all.
Wow.
All right,
and imagine that the bloodline of the one faction that's been running the WWE in the 2020s, and hell, we already at 2024. That faction that's been running the pro wrestling world in the 2020s against this new biggest faction. Eventually at WrestleMania they clash, or maybe at War Games they clash. Maybe every Batman needs a Robin, and maybe this new faction ends up becoming Batman and Robin.
If there's a possibility of Roman Reigns turning face, you can't be a good guy faction, fam. Like, you can't be dudes with attitudes without a dangerous alliance or 4 horsemen. That's the only thing I hated about WCW. Their nicknames was just lame as fuck. Like, what the fuck is dudes with attitudes, fam? Like, you were supposed to get your ass whooped at War Games versus the Dangerous Alliance, G. Like, not. Even though, Camp, why did the Dangerous Alliance lose? And why did the 4 horsemen lose?
Oh. Larry Zbyszko. The living legend. No.
This nigga hates Larry Zbyszko.
I'm the
I don't
new
hate
one.
it. He just not lit.
Hey, Plus just nailed that imitation.
That man told me, oh.
You know what I'm saying?
But nah,
hey,
man. I'll go ahead.
it's not lit.
Hey, man, I want to thank you, Plus and Nailz, for jumping on the show, man.
Oh,
Definitely
yeah, man.
appreciate it. Brings a new, fresh agenda to the show and everything. Love to have y'all both back on here soon. We've now anointed y'all the FBC Tag Team Champions.
Oh,
So-
shit. Thank you.
So
Thank you.
if Camp is the podcast Intercontinental Champion, I am the VP DOC. I am James J. Dillon. You know what I'm saying? Esquire, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? We need tag team champions. So y'all are the FBC tag team champions.
Hey.
And then
Yes.
we got Hood that, you know, is nigga Mike Tenay. You know, so,
I gotta hear his Lucha Libre report. I gotta hear that.
you know what I'm saying? We gotta hit. Only thing we waiting for is for Scott Steiner to yell at his ass when he says, yo, this is a Hurricanrana. No, shit. The fucking Steiner. Like, yo, you about to really beat Mike Tenay ass over this damn joint. But nah, appreciate y'all. But Camp,
Yes.
end is off.
Right, man. Hey, thank y'all for tuning in to this episode, a very spirited and detailed episode of the First Black Champ podcast. I want to thank our special guests for coming in as well. Hey, listen, man, everybody, you with your likes, your comments, your shares, your questions, your rumor and innuendo, funny things, and scantily clad women. Hey, it's all appreciated. We appreciate every single thing that you do to contribute to the First Black Champ community. Because without you, it just wouldn't be what it is, man. So and for that, we thank you. And if you ever want to talk about wrestling in an unconventional way, you do so by checking out the First Black Champ podcast. Pick FBC Tag Champs of the World, VP, DOC, and we are out. Fuck Johnny Wrestling.
There we go. This nigga hates Johnny Wrestling, y'all. He's just...
Now that one is true. He looks like fucking Pixar movie thing.